Hello and welcome to Tasting with Staci. I have the great pleasure of taking you on the wine route down the Vosges Mountains in Alsace. We are squarely in northeastern France, just about as high in latitude as we can get for grape growing. And just on this other side of the river, that's Germany. Important in that Germany and France have fought, argued, disagreed over time as to whose property this is. And the influence of that Germanic culture is actually evident in almost everything. You'll see it in the quaint villages and their architecture. You'll see it in the cuisine. And most importantly for us, you'll see it in the wine. Now, we are looking at the influence of climate. I always say it is amazingly surprising that this is the first or second driest region in all of France. These Vosges Mountains actually stop all of the wet and rainfall that would be traveling across France and impacting positively and negatively the grape growing in the rest of France. It is actually very hot days and very, very cold nights. And as a matter of fact, very importantly for the Riesling grape, they get a full winter. So these vines go into complete dormancy. It's ideal. The next benefit of these beloved Vosges Mountains is the different soil type. We actually are looking at about 13 different soil types, combinations of clay and granite and schist and limestone, all of them giving the grapes that are being grown in often very small parcels complete character. Today we're looking at a couple of different areas where the Riesling, the king of grapes in Alsace, is being grown. Our very first producer is right up in here, where if you can look at the way the mountains on our little topographical map, they don't have the same impact. So the soil is a lot more limestone, chalk, stone, but not the granitics and a lot of the intense minerality. That being said, Roland Schmidt and their Glinsberg, not a Grand Cru, just a basic level Riesling for them, brings a lot of stone and bright rocky aromatics, I said, smell stones, and flavors in the glass. This is a bright fresh wine. It is a 2014 from a small family producer. Let's take a quick sip on that one. Exactly as I said, this is fresh wine. Now these are Rieslings. Dry, mineral, stones, yes. This is Alsace. This is distinguished from the terroir and the stylistic winemaking of Riesling in Germany. So that is one of the many surprises. Warm, dry climate and dry Rieslings. Now we're moving down. We are moving down to a gentleman that has a ton of vineyard holdings in here. We're just outside of Colmar, and this is a gentleman that is a master blender. He actually does have vineyard holdings sort of outside of Colmar, and then takes the character of each of these holdings and brings them together, getting very expressive wines. This is, in our lineup today, one of the few wines that has granite. Granite brings that power, some of the ageability, elegance and finesse at the same time. So, Meyer Fonet, this is a Reserve 2013 straightforward, some challenges for the winemakers, and Reserve is a vineyard designate. You'll notice a little bit more intensity of color, but we're still looking at a youthful wine. All of those stones, all of those rocks, more integrated here. Super, super zippy on the palate. Nice, bright, and tart. You do have some minerality at the back. This wine, as opposed to the first one, bright salads, aperitifs, would not be good just to be sipping on its own though, because it is so bracing and so focused. This brings a little bit more softness to it. This gentleman, again, blending different parcels, getting a delicious wine. Now we're moving on to Bot Gyle. He is the classic winemaker, did a bunch of videos, find them on YouTube, I think maybe even on the Wines of Alsace page. Purple and wine-stained hands, even though doesn't do a lot of red wine production. He's doing the opposite. He is actually taking each of the parcels, and he has tons of them, and acknowledging what that parcel is good for. That being said, his Les Element, a 2011 Riesling, which we'll talk about in a second, is an expression of a number of parcels coming together, very clean, very light. I point out the name Riesling on the bottle because this area of France is one of the very few that actually labels the wine by the grape, a holdover from what took place in Germany. The next part to note, this is a 2011. So we've got more color intensity in the glass and that deliciousness that wine geeks crave. We're beginning the secondary developments of petrol. That's right, you get almost this gasoline, pine nut. It's a super savory. And you can see with that color and its viscosity, far richer on the palate. Pork, roast chicken. Pork is a natural. Come on, right across the river from Germany. So again, a 2011 Bot Guile. There is so much to talk about in Alsace. I encourage us all to hop on a bike, do the 75 miles on the wine trail, but I encourage you to come back with me next time and try more from the Wines of Alsace. I look forward to you tasting with Staci. Thanks.